Kim Kardashian's feud with Beyoncé is still one of the most epic feuds in Hollywood.
In the glamorous world of Hollywood, friendships are often paraded in front of flashing cameras. But behind the scenes, they may not be as perfect as they seem. And when it comes to two of the most powerful women in pop culture, Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian, the question has always lingered. Are they truly friends? Or is their relationship nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion? On one side, you have Beyoncé, Queen Bey herself, a global icon respected for her artistry, discipline, and carefully guarded private life. On the other, Kim Kardashian, the reality TV mogul who turned fame into a billion-dollar empire, constantly under the spotlight, and always a step ahead in controlling the media narrative. They dominate different worlds, yet their paths have crossed countless times. At award shows, exclusive parties, and front-row fashion events. The cameras capture their smiles, their waves, their polite exchanges. But fans can't help but wonder, do these two women share a genuine bond, or are they simply playing roles for the Hollywood stage? Tonight, we pull back the curtain on one of the entertainment industry's most puzzling friendships. From red carpet appearances to rumors of icy distance, from scandals involving their famous husbands to the whispers that they were never close at all. This is the untold story of Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian. A story that will make you question, in Hollywood, is friendship ever real? Or is it all just an illusion? From the outside, Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian seem destined to be part of the same glittering circle. Both women stood at the very peak of fame, shaping culture in ways few could rival. When they appeared in the same room, whether it was at the MTV Video Music Awards, the Met Gala, or a private after-party, the cameras instantly locked on them. Two powerful figures, two different empires, and the world couldn't help but draw comparisons. The media loved to frame them as twin queens of modern celebrity. Beyoncé, the perfectionist performer whose artistry redefined music and stage presence. Kim, the reality TV star turned fashion mogul and billionaire businesswoman, mastering the art of publicity and social media. To fans, they represented two different sides of stardom, talent and artistry on one side, influence and media dominance on the other. And when they stood near each other, it felt like pop culture was colliding in real time. There were snapshots of them sharing smiles, quicks, hugs, even sitting near each other during award shows. Paparazzi photos fueled speculation. Were they close friends keeping things low-key? Or was it simply politeness under the blinding lights? Kim often spoke openly about her admiration for Beyoncé, calling her an inspiration and celebrating her music publicly. Meanwhile, Beyoncé rarely commented on Kim, choosing silence over soundbites, a silence that only deepened the curiosity. Still, to the outside world, their appearances side by side painted a picture of two women at the center of the cultural universe, walking a parallel path of fame, power, and influence. But Hollywood thrives on illusion. For every perfect photograph, there were whispers behind the scenes that not everything was as glamorous as it looked. And as time passed, cracks in this glossy image began to show. For years, fans searched for signs of a true friendship between Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian. But behind the carefully staged photographs, subtle cracks began to surface. And the more closely people looked, the more they questioned whether the two women were ever close at all. One of the most telling moments came during Kim Kardashian's extravagant wedding to Kanye West in 2014. The world expected Beyoncé and Jay-Z, longtime friends of Kanye, to take center stage at the event. But when the big day arrived, Beyoncé and Jay-Z were nowhere to be found. Instead, Beyoncé posted cryptic pictures on Instagram, skipping the ceremony entirely. For fans, the absence spoke louder than words. Was this a statement? A quiet way of drawing the line? And then there were the award shows. Countless times, cameras captured Beyoncé and Kim sitting just a few feet apart, smiling politely, but never engaging in deep conversation. Their interactions felt rehearsed, even distant. Body language experts pointed out the lack of warmth. No lingering eye contact, no genuine laughter, no signs of true intimacy. Just courtesy, played out under the spotlight. The rumors only grew stronger when reports surfaced that Beyoncé kept her distance from the Kardashian family, avoiding their reality TV circus and preferring to remain in her carefully curated world of privacy. Industry insiders whispered that Beyoncé simply did not see Kim as her equal, that while Kim dominated headlines, Beyoncé wanted no part of the tabloid frenzy that followed her everywhere. For Kim, the silence was deafening. She often expressed admiration, but Beyoncé rarely acknowledged her in return. To many, it felt like a one-sided relationship, Kim reaching out for a connection, and Beyoncé keeping the door only half open. The cracks, once subtle, were now impossible to ignore. And soon, those cracks would be ripped wide open. Not by the women themselves, but by the men who stood beside them. If the subtle distance between Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian hadn't already raised eyebrows, the breaking point came not from the women themselves, but from the explosive fallout between their famous husbands. Kanye West and Jay-Z had once been inseparable, collaborators, brothers in music, kings of hip-hop. But by the mid-2010s, their relationship began to fracture. Kanye publicly lashed out at Jay-Z on stage, accusing him of not being there for his family, even claiming Beyoncé was manipulating award shows behind the scenes. In one unforgettable rant, Kanye suggested Beyoncé refuse to perform unless she won Video of the Year, comments that instantly made headlines around the world. For Beyoncé, fiercely protective of her reputation, this was a betrayal. For Kim, standing loyally by Kanye, it was a declaration of war. The tension between the two men made any possibility of a close friendship between their wives almost impossible. How could Beyoncé and Kim bond when their partners were clashing so publicly? The scandal only intensified when reports surfaced that Beyoncé had never truly welcomed Kim into her inner circle. Sources claimed Beyoncé saw Kim as thirsty for fame, someone who thrived on publicity, the very thing Beyoncé worked so hard to shield herself from. The fact that Kim's entire empire was built on reality TV and media spectacle stood in stark contrast to Beyoncé's carefully curated image of mystery and artistry. Then came the social media fallout. Fans noticed subtle moves, Beyoncé and Kim unfollowing each other, Beyoncé skipping major Kardashian events, and Kim noticeably absent from Beyoncé's inner celebrations. To the public, it was confirmation. The illusion of friendship had been shattered, and the tension was no longer hidden behind polite smiles. What had once been whispered gossip was now undeniable scandal. And while Beyoncé and Kim never exchanged direct blows in public, the silence between them spoke volumes. It was a silence loaded with drama, amplified by every headline, every rumor, every choice to appear, or not appear, by each other's side. And as the scandal played out, the consequences for both women's public images would become impossible to ignore. The fallout was swift and impossible to ignore. For years, fans had speculated about the icy distance between Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian. But after the scandals involving Jay-Z and Kanye West, the public perception hardened. These women were never true friends, and perhaps they were never meant to be. The absence of Beyoncé and Jay-Z from Kim and Kanye's wedding was replayed endlessly in tabloids and gossip blogs. To many, it was the ultimate snub. How could a supposed friend skip such a monumental occasion? For Kim, it was an embarrassing reminder that no matter how high she climbed in the world of fame, she could not secure Beyoncé's approval. For Beyoncé, it was a quiet way of sending a message. She would not attach her brand to the chaos of the Kardashian empire. Fans, too, took sides. The Bayhive, Beyoncé's fiercely loyal fan base, dismissed Kim as desperate for validation. insisting that Beyoncé was too iconic to mingle with reality TV drama. Meanwhile, Kim's supporters painted Beyoncé as cold, elitist, even arrogant. The debate spilled across social media, creating a cultural divide that only fueled the media frenzy. Hollywood insiders pointed out that the distance also shaped how both women were marketed. Beyoncé leaned even harder into her image as a private, untouchable queen, far removed from the circus of tabloid culture. Kim, on the other hand, continued to embrace media attention, proving that scandal could be turned into power. The contrast between them became more than personal. It became symbolic. They weren't just two women in the spotlight. They represented two different blueprints for surviving and thriving in fame. And yet, the more the world speculated, the clearer it became. Whether by choice or by circumstance, Beyoncé and Kim's friendship had crumbled under the weight of scandal, public pressure, and clashing worlds. What remained was an image carefully maintained on red carpets, but stripped of authenticity behind the scenes. But even after the consequences had settled, one question remained. What legacy did this fractured relationship leave behind? In the end, the relationship, or lack of one, between Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian became more than just celebrity gossip. It transformed into a cultural symbol, a reminder of how Hollywood friendships can be crafted, manipulated, and even weaponized for public consumption. For Beyoncé, keeping her distance reinforced her brand as an untouchable icon. She was the artist who valued privacy, control, and exclusivity. Her silence spoke louder than words, reminding the world that not every alliance in Hollywood needs to be embraced. By drawing a line with Kim, she strengthened her image as someone who could not be bought, staged, or manipulated by fame. For Kim, the story was different. She thrived on visibility, on headlines, on constant media circulation. Even speculation about her friendship with Beyoncé kept her name buzzing in tabloids and conversations worldwide. Whether Beyoncé acknowledged her or not, Kim still benefited from the association. It proved the power of her media empire. She could stand in the same frame as Beyoncé and still command attention. Together, their contrasting paths highlighted the duality of modern celebrity. Beyoncé represented artistry, discipline, and selective exposure. Kim embodied media mastery, constant reinvention, and the ability to turn even rejection into relevance. Their so-called friendship, or rather the illusion of one, revealed how public perception can be shaped by a single smile, a single photograph, or a single absence. And perhaps that is the legacy. Beyoncé and Kim never needed to be best friends to capture the public imagination. Their relationship, or the illusion of it, became a reflection of us, the audience, and our obsession with seeing women in power either bond or break apart. It's proof that in Hollywood, even silence can be as loud as a scandal. So were Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian ever truly friends? Or was it all just Hollywood smoke and mirrors? From red carpet smiles to cold silences, from wedding snubs to explosive scandals, their story was never one of deep connection. It was one of performance, perception, and power. In a world where every glance is analyzed and every absence becomes a headline, their friendship reminds us that sometimes the illusion is more powerful than the reality. Beyoncé continues to reign as the untouchable queen of music, her legacy cemented by artistry and discipline. Kim Kardashian remains a force of media dominance, proving that fame itself can be the ultimate business. Two women, two empires, two worlds that collided only briefly, but never truly merged. And maybe that's the truth about Hollywood friendships. They don't need to be genuine. They just need to keep us watching, speculating, and talking. The spectacle itself becomes the story. And in the case of Beyoncé and Kim, that spectacle has lasted for over a decade. But what do you think? Were Beyoncé and Kim ever real friends? Or was their relationship nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion, designed to keep the cameras flashing? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories on secrets behind the fame.